Welcome to today's tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be discussing about the HSL colors in CSS. So now, from our CSS file, from our HTML file, we want to change the color of the H4. So we have already referenced it here. So now let me say color. So let me say HSL. Now you see, which simply means hue, saturation, and lightness. So the hue, saturation, and lightness. So these are represented in percent. So let me say hue, saturation, and lightness. So now the hue, let me make the hue to be 0. Then the saturation to be 100%. Then the lightness, which is the L, to be 50%. Now you see the color that we have. So you can still play around with all this. The color which is 0. So let me change the first number to 6. Let me see what we have. We still have red. So let me change this to, let me say 240. Now you see we have the color blue. Now let me change the lightness to 80. You see, it is not very light, to 80%. So let me reduce it so you'll be able to see. Let me do to 10%. Now you see the color that we have. Now you see, so you can play around with these numbers to get different color. So now let us quickly discuss about the HSLA. So we are just going to add our A here, the A which is the alpha. So I can see the alpha should be 90%. Now you see how the color looks like. Then I can say this. I can change the color of this to let me say to 90. Sorry, let me change this to let me change it to 40. Now you're able to see. Now you see I can change this to HSL, which the hue, the saturation is 100%. Okay, let me reduce saturation to 10%. You see how it is. Then the lightness, let me increase to 80. Now you see how light it is. Then the alpha, let me reduce to 10. You see it has disappeared. So let me increase this more, 80, and let me increase this to 70. Now you see we have our text. So you can play around with this figure. It will enable you to get different kind of colors. So now there are shortcuts to this. So you can come here when you have this. So you can drag your cursor here. So you can have your value. So this is the alpha. You see the alpha, the lightness of it. That's the alpha. So you can click it, HSL. So I can come here, play around, change the color. You see, so this is the shortcut to it. So this is how you can make use of colors in CSS.